levels of kind of beginner, 3 levels of sort of intermediate, 3 levels of advanced training. So I'm going to just start at the bottom and work my way up, and if people start glazing over, then I'll stop. The very first thing we have to train is posture. Now, when you say posture, first thing people generally will do in English is they'll say, well, stand up straight. But standing up straight is terrible posture. They're two different things, right? Because everybody gets taught, suck in your gut, and stick out your chest, and arch your back, and stick out your butt because of sexuality. That's how we attract each other, right? So this is what we're taught to do through our culture to attract a mate. So then you get to a Tai Chi class or whatever, and you have no structure at all because you're too tight, too tense, and there's nothing lined up in your body and you stink. So instead of posture, we're going to give it a totally different name to kind of divorce it from that. So there's lots of different variants depending on your Tai Chi lineage. The one we're going to use for me is called standing tall like the monkey. And the idea of standing tall like the monkey is we were on all fours at one point. So let's think about this as an evolutionary thing. What do all animals do with their eyes? They look at the horizon. That's what happens. I mean, they don't live their lives looking right here, right? We don't either. So my eyes are on the horizon, right? I'm able to move. I'm able to do what I have to do. And then time begins to pick us up to make us bipeds, right? See what's happening now? We're about here naturally, truthfully. Watch humans walk. We have this, and almost everybody's head's here, right? And it's because this hasn't happened yet. It takes thousands and millions of years for everything to come, right? So what we're doing in Tai Chi is we're trying to make the body more efficient than it already is naturally, because I mean, otherwise we wouldn't have to do Tai Chi. It would just be okay, right? So to stand tall like the monkey, your tailbone has to be dropped so it's pointing between your heels. That kind of flattens your lower back a little bit, okay? Tanjong, center of your chest, has to be pulled slightly down. Basically, we take this position and we just relax. And then the back of your neck has to become open. So what they'll say is like tuck in the chin and imagine you're being suspended from above by a string. And what that's trying to do is it's trying to make a vertical line in your body. Okay? We're going to call that verticality. So we have to create verticality in our body. And the first way to do it is through the alignment of our bones. Once you have that going, power starts to flow a lot more freely. Because if I'm standing like this, I'm actually using a huge amount of my muscle to hold my body up versus gravity. Like human heads weigh a lot, right? So I mean, especially nowadays with the phone, right? So if I'm playing with my phone, I've got 30 pounds that's being suspended in the air with my back. All that muscle in my back can't do work now. It's busy, right? So then you go to the bar or the beach, you're trying to be cool, and now you're suspending massive amounts of your weight just to have this sexually attractive posture, and all of that muscle can't be used for force. So let's say you have 100 units of muscle. If you bring verticality to your body and your skeleton structure starts dealing with gravity for you, you maybe only need to use, 20 units of that muscular force to stand up. But this guy, he uses more like 7 to stand up. Which is why, like when you bounce in the bar, the big tough guys really can't hit very hard most of the time. Because they're hitting with this very little force because it's all been reserved to make them look sexy, right? So unfortunately, we do not look sexy, but we hit harder, so that's cool. So, tailbone between your heels, breastbone towards your stomach, look forward and listen backwards. That's standing tall like a monkey. So what I was seeing when people were pushing was lots of this. Right, I'm bending over backwards. I'm going to break right in the middle. Or, the other test, right, I said was let go to see if they're bending forwards. Both are incorrect. We have to look for vertical lines. We have to deal with gravity. That's just life, right? So try it again. Put your tailbone between your feet, your heels, right? Tanjong, breastbone towards your stomach. Open the back of your neck and do the the exercise. Just see if it feels easier or harder. And just go gently with each other. You don't have to do a ton of power here.